Fiscal Court to order special call meeting on this 5th day of May 2025 at 4 p.m. Time's wrong on there. 4 p.m. And let's see, how about Justin?
Yes, sir.
Do the prayer and pledge.
Oh, yes, sir. We bow our heads. Lord, first off, we thank you for all the blessings that we've received. Whether we realize all of them or not, we know that you have blessed us. And as always, we thank you for your never-ending grace and endless love. We ask that you come to these magistrates with wisdom in the decisions that they make in the benefit of our county. And it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As you've seen on your agenda, Justin called last week, and it's just something we need to clean up on the Grabhorn law, where we hired them to do the opioid settlement. We need this other resolution for where they continue to do more work after we originally contracted.
Yeah, this is just on some, making sure, all the defendants, we asked them to file suit with regard to, or make claims against any defendants that were appropriate, and we just want to make sure that it's accurately reflected at the request of Mr. Grabhorn. And so, a motion and second, if the court would entertain it.
Do we have to pay them, or do they get a commission?
They get a portion of whatever we receive.
Our percentage?
Payment from the opioid settlement.
Yes. Then we don't have to pay them anything.
Do we have any idea what percentage they get?
I'd have to look at the contract. It looked to be a standard. Same that Henderson did and some other counties.
What do they have at Louisville?
If I remember right, I think so. Don't quote me on that, but I'm almost positive Louisville or Cincinnati.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Dale. Second by Bob. Is there any discussion or more questions for Justin? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The resolution is passed. Do all of you have a copy of the budget? I see they brought some new copies in. Do all of you have one?
Nothing's changed since we started.
Well, the only thing I have changed is, let me mention three things. We had our health insurance rates before we did the budget, so everything's correct in there. After we did that, the one you all have, we got our workers' comp and general liability. The general liability went up and the workers' comp went down, and they pretty much evened each other out, and I just tweaked the numbers in each department to reflect that.
Did you say you put about $500 difference?
Yeah, it didn't change the overall picture of the budget, but I did get those numbers set in there.
Well, any questions about anything in there?
Can you just give us a brief about the major changes that was in there?
We did incorporate the CPI increase. The health insurance went up, I think I announced that. The basic went up 8%, and the add-on, the better plan, it went up about 12%. So all of those adjustments were made. There were a couple of utilities, not very many. There wasn't really much change, other than, I know y'all, the discretionary money, and then I think your community dumpsters. That was about it.
Well, the discretionary money's usually not in the budget. We used to do that from our first round of needs assessment money.
How much was last year's budget, and this ballpark, do you know?
It was about almost 24 million. The reason it has reduced is we had over 4 million in USDA grants that we won't be having this year. We also had, I think, some of the railroad stuff built in. One of the things you want to do is to try to keep your budget as close to reality as you can because you pay general liability insurance based on your budget. So we don't want anything overstated. So we don't have those federal grants.
You
That's
see,
why it's
those are
lower.
sort of rollovers. You spend what you get in, kind of comes through, but what you're saying, that's reflected in the budget. And if we get some, we can sure kind of amend them in,
Yeah.
but we don't want to put them in there before we know we're getting them.
What page is our community contributions on?
Judge, I know it would,
Pull from jointly.
I'm sorry.
I know it would take time, but we've got two completely new.
I had marked
Could
it
we
down
start
there.
from, kinda like, I know it'll take time, but they're new with the budget.
It's that 507-610.
Can't be an extra budget.
It's in there though.
Yeah, I saw it, but I
It's
was.
in the front.
I had it from.
It's here.
Well,
Mhm.
we can on the first page,
This is our
one and two is the revenue.
And we, if we have
So it is
surplus
what it is.
left over, we'll put into that.
Okay, but I was.
If we don't get all over dollar night,
Last
we
year.
can schedule another one.
We
Well,
probably
we're
have
sort of on a
2,000
crunch
left.
for time to get it to Frankfurt.
We probably used the whole 10,000 by the end of the year.
So, I just wondered
On page,
if this was,
on page 1 and 2, it's the revenue things,
or a question.
and that's pretty, almost based on last year's, unless we knew for sure there's gonna be a difference. And then on and then we go on through, and you got to, I'm gonna thumb through it like Larry said. If you have a question on each page, well, you can go ahead, but that page 1 is all the taxes and the revenue from the CRA and all that.
When you're looking at page 1, okay.
And then,
Page 1.
Unless you all have notes on this, I have made copies of all those little changes I made, and these pages are numbered. It might be easier for y'all to look at.
Yeah.
Those pages are numbered.
okay, that makes it a little easier. Oh, my, I got the big things up on top there.
Yeah, this does reflect the updates I made to the general liability and what was on.
It's thinner too.
And you see some things, it's got a letter and zero, and some of them's because they run out, but they still print out on there. Like, on page 1, you come down to mainly local revenue, there is none, but there was in past times. That's why it's noted that, that's why there is such a line there. Bank franchises there, that's why they do not pay they do not pay any net profits tax. It's because they pay that. We're most likely getting a bad deal there.
I'd say so.
Of course, the 3 million something, that is from our, that's your employees. Anybody that works anywhere, that's our 1% of their tax. Bluegrass Crossings listed second, separately, because we divide that with 4 other counties. Federal workers, it's just not a lot of money.
Speaking of bluegrass crop, what about the one in Muhlenberg County? What's the progress of that plan going on?
I will have to check on that. We don't have a board member there right now to come back and report to us. We gotta get somebody on it.
I'm gonna really start getting our percentage from that if they keep coming.
Yeah, it'll come in pretty soon, yeah.
For the,
For the cybersecurity, they confirmed they're gonna hold to it.
well, they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, it's not in the federal grant side, I would just run that. I have
And
an
you see
account.
down
is
here,
that all now?
the,
We have to pay and then they're gonna reimburse 100%.
Yeah, see, I've got an account here for
you
this.
see where the bail
grant.
fill
About
list is
500,000,
down there.
That's just for all those bonds.
We got the bail
So
fill
it's
list
set up.
lease on
Okay.
there. There's a lot of grants and things we've got that end up getting a permanent line on our budget. So that don't mean we cut something, it means that we just didn't have that, we just didn't have that revenue to roll through that passed through.
So on this other one, you've got percentage, that's a percentage of the part of the budget it is. Isn't it?
What are you talking about?
Like on the one you could, like the first one, 600,000 sheriff, that's 5.4, that's 5% of the budget, what that is, 5.4% of the budget.
Where are you looking at?
Far right column.
Yeah, number one.
Far right column
Yeah.
on page 1.
Each segment's different.
Okay.
Like if you look back here on the back, like that's segments.
On this rail,
Okay, all right.
18,500. But we're supposed to get a big sum from them.
We
Majority
will,
of it are-
That's not the same thing. This is something we get from the state, where they, where the railroad passes through. This is, they compute it and send us a check. This has nothing to do with
Is
that
that
railroad
other in the
grant.
budget?
no,
No.
because we don't know when it's gonna come in. We're not sure that it'll make it in. I sure hope so, but we don't have a guarantee they'll be in this budget, so hopefully it will. Because we already got a $20,000 down payment that we had
No,
on
it's all
the
under.
original revenue.
Yeah, that must be,
You get back towards the back, that's all the road.
okay. So that's the percentage of just the general fund part.
And
Yes,
they kept at this percentage over in far right column.
uh-huh,
Is that of the total revenue?
Of each department.
of
Or
each category,
Yeah.
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 Like all the 4100s, that adds up to, you see where it says 4100s here?
5
So those
million.
percentages is for that category there.
Yeah.
Which is general fund.
Yeah.
And on to page 2, that's continuing right on with the revenue for the general fund. Hasn't this one, that 23,000 we're listed on the ATM from the jail, the telephone, that's gone up, hasn't it, quite a bit? Isn't that an increase?
Which account?
4702,
I mean, no, not a lot.
okay. I expect it will in the future. Well, maybe it won't because our population's down a little bit. But we're getting bigger cut off of that now. Land and range.
Back up, Judge, on the golf course, greens membership, it was 105,000 this year and last year was 70. Is that a more?
Yeah,
Is that a surplus more?
we're making more, taking in more money there, yeah.
So basically, there's not a lot of changes other than the 2.9 CPI and the 8.5 for the health insurance. And now the CPI didn't go towards utilities, you just left them alone?
No, we just left them alone, yeah.
Uh,
That's so hard because even though my rule of thumb is something has to happen 3 years before I'll change it. So on the utilities, even though utilities might have went up, you can have a mild winter or a hard winter. So until I have 3 years that I was short enough, I don't change it because it flip-flops back and forth so much.
Utilities and things astonish me. Well, this building, it's supposed to go way down on what it's costing because our gas will be nearly nothing because we don't have a boiler anymore. And then these air units, heat units, are supposed to be super efficient. So
They seem to be working, this one.
Yeah,
Not
well, I
frozen
know
to
it.
death.
yeah, they're all good. They're all going to both the 2 floors and a lot of progress on the first floor. And he said, Marty and I talked a long time today. He says about 2 weeks the bottom should be fired up. That means the building will be complete. But the most thing that astonishes me the most here is the phone bill on 911. It just blows your mind. I almost think we could start our own phone company.
They do for a living.
Got a few lines over there.
Well, you're paying for the technology too.
Well, I know
It's not
that.
just the phone line, it's
Yeah, I know
like they
that.
can pinpoint where you're at.
Well, I just think when, back to the utilities, when the CPI was like 7.5, 6.5, we raised it, you raised utilities, and of course,
Well,
caught up with us at one time.
if you remember, I'm just gonna say 5 years ago when gas hiked so high, we had a year that we hiked that fuel up and hiked utilities up. And since then, it's been enough because fuel's come back down. So even though utilities haven't, we hiked it up enough that we haven't had any budget shortfalls on it.
When utilities and stuff goes up, don't you supposed to compensate the rent to go up some?
Yeah, if it was substantial, yes.
We need to check on that, what they're renting out at the senior. The guy's paying $400 a month. No utilities, and last month, the utilities was over $800. And something,
Yeah, it's gonna be raised. Of course, that was
what's gonna be raised?
the rent, because the amount of work he's doing is not as much, because he's not doing the work we count on
He's
getting.
not doing nothing that I can see. Of course, we ain't out there no more.
But boy, didn't you win big before you win?
You what?
Y'all done good though. That's a beautiful place you're at now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I learned something today about that I did not know. Neil ended up getting it from the Methodist, and then Marty Shepherd bought it from her. So that's good.
The whole truth wasn't told in them deals.
No,
I've got a copy of the deeds.
most likely, I know that. They didn't have clear deeds on a lot of their churches that they sold for big money and little
I'm
money.
talking about the cash, what they give on the deeds.
Okay, let's go on to page 3. We're still in the general fund revenue. And then just a little ways down there, we start the expenditure. I wish we could do like the federal government does, just figure out what we need to spend and just go ahead and get a little more revenue to make up the difference.
How can we justify taking $65,000 out of the road fund when here the last couple of years, we ain't had, at times, we ain't even had enough money to buy gravel?
Because the administrative costs from there should have been a lot more than that. But the part of the administrative cost is for the road department. And that's customary, that's what they do all over the state.
Take money out of the road department?
It's not taking it out of it, you're using it to pay your administrative costs.
If you take it out, if you transfer it, you're taking it out.
I know, but it's to pay their overhead for their part of the administrative costs. And,
There ain't a line item for the administrative costs?
well, I mean, they're individual there, but it all comes back. And like part of what I do, part of what you do is for the road department. Part of what all we do is for the road department. Matter of fact, a lot bigger percentage than what we took out of it.
How couldn't we take it out of some other department
We
if
don't.
it's necessary?
They don't really have as much, for one thing. And they are reflected in the general fund. Then, then you get down to all of the salaries.
Where is the tourism salary at? I didn't see it in there.
It's listed as a, help me find that,
It's in
and
the
where
LGEA account.
we, yeah, okay.
In the what at?
LGEA. We give it to the Tourism Commission, and they pay the salary. I mean, that's why we're giving it to them, but they pay it after we give it to them out of LGEA.
It's on page 13, thank you. Well,
It's a
about
page turner.
midway, the 38,750.
So where do you come up with the 38,000?
That was just what was budgeted her. Some of her payroll, we reimbursed out of there, plus just the operation of the Rosine Museum,
I just don't
utilities.
see it listed on there. I just see the 250 and the 8,443.
Where, are you on
I'm
page
just-
13?
Yeah, I'm missing it somewhere.
Oh, go up.
Oh, okay.
Rosine Museum, op expense, tourism.
Okay, yeah. I know it was missing somewhere.
There's a worksheet
Yeah, that's what we do to run that. We paid the
administrative costs.
Tourist Commission to run the Beaver Dam Museum. And of course, they used to pay Jody's salary, most of it. But they have utilities up there and all that too.
How many salaries is Jody Cleaner getting?
Actual money, let me think about this just a second. One, because the home place, when she's not even doing that now, but when she did, she got paid a percentage of what it made and never made anything. If it made a profit, she'd got to pay out from
If
it.
there's any questions, let's go.
But it never made anything, same way with the bond.
I've already read it.
And to tell you the truth, I don't even believe she's doing that anymore either. I believe just the museum is all she's doing now. And tourism for the county, which is a big deal.
So that 38,000 is paying them, both them ladies?
No, there's a separate item for the other one, 5 down there for her.
No, it all comes out of that 38.5.
Okay, I'm sorry, it was built
Yeah.
in together. It's for both of them.
And that's not just the salary, that's for operating expenses also, the utilities,
Okay.
It
yeah,
says on the
anything.
expense right there. on the-
yeah, anything she might need to run that building.
Where's the line for all the money coming back from the building road, you know?
There is no line.
No, it's going to tour, if what little they make, it goes in, back in tourist commission gets
I
it.
gotcha.
Has anybody ever found out who's selling the shirts up there and where that money goes?
He's selling for the barn there and for the Ridge both. He's doing them both. As far as I know, it,
And that goes to those 501c3s?
to the
Of
best
course,
of
the
my
barn is
knowledge,
their own entity, they get to keep their own, you know.
to the best of my knowledge it is, I can find out.
Now, the museum's not, yeah, that's,
The $5 fee for touring the museum stays right there with into the tourist commission, keeps that for the museum operation cost. And the commission off selling the books and things like that too. But on shirts, I don't know. I don't know if we get a commission from selling them for those other entities or not. We probably do, but I can't tell you how much. We're selling,
The shirts. Somebody else put them in there, but I just wondered where the money's going, if we're getting any of it. I asked that 12 years ago, we still haven't got an answer.
well, I'll ask that question. I'm assuming the tourism commission is getting some of it, but I'll find out.
And just tourism commission, they give us a line back, tell us what they've collected, or it just stays in there, and that's,
Yeah, came from them.
so that should be reflected in my open records request.
It should be in their audit report, I would say, which I haven't seen, but we can get a copy of it, because their audit report should have that in there.
why don't they, when they sell stuff, like at the golf course and stuff, they have to run it and deliver it and bring it to you, deposit it here? Why don't things like that? I mean, I know that tourism is their own
They're basically their own thing.
taxing.
I don't even know for sure that I don't know what they get out of it. I know the ones they sell them for get the bulk of it. Like selling them for James Monroe and for the Ridge and for the barn and on and on. And there may be some of them that actually sold for the museum itself too. Come think of it, I believe there is. But it's all, they keep the records there at the museum. We don't see them here. Okay.
Hold on. Hey. Hey.
And how much do we owe on equipment, trucks? We owe very much?
At the road department,
Just one, I believe. isn't it?
no, there's two.
Just
No, there's one.
ballpark, I was just
Well,
curious.
we just got it, so we probably owe over 100,000, because we just got that loan, that's pretty new.
How many years is they usually for?
I believe we did it on 4 years.
Yeah, because that was one of those deals where we got a grant back for, we just did that here, or what did we get back? Or they promised to pay us back what we paid for in 3 years.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's the lease, that's
Oh.
a different one.
Okay,
We actually bought a vehicle outright, or whatever it was we bought,
okay.
equipment. Green or yellow, I do not know.
It's yellow, I'm pretty sure. Every time we buy something like that, she's talking about do you need it or whatever, and I'll say, well, you know, that new yellow paint smells so good, it's intoxicating. We gotta have it if we smell good.
You gotta have good equipment.
Yeah, and we do. There's a couple things we still would like to have, but we've come so far on equipment in the last 10, 15 years. We've come a long way. We came from one rubber tar excavator to having a long reach and 2 other excavators besides the rubber tar, so we've 4 now. 5, because we've got a mini as well. So we have 5 excavators, went from 1 to 5.
So I think everybody probably had a chance to look over this budget, didn't we? Or,
Yeah.
I've had for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, does anybody have any questions, or? I just feel like we're kind of split on
We
the
are.
thumbs.
Okay, let's go, let's just do it that way. Let's go back to Plan A. Anybody got any questions about anything in the budget?
I do. North Park, it says 10,000, does that include the mowing up there, or is that just, or does the county, or the park?
What page are you on there? Well, that's all, yeah, here's some numbers, I know.
I'm gonna say it don't cover all of it.
Because, I mean, they stole the hot water heaters,
Page 9.
3 doors down, I got 2 broken toilets.
Well, no, that's gonna come out park maintenance budget. That wouldn't be out of North Park's budget. That's for improvements.
I was gonna say, yeah, what
Out
is
of
it?
the box stuff. Not, I didn't answer you correctly. That's not your day-to-day operation. That's under the Parks Department. That North Park is for extra stuff done at that park.
And the mowing at North Park will come out of that budget as well?
No. It'll be part of the regular park budget.
That's what they was asking me, that's really.
That's what I'm asking, like it'll come out of the regular park budget, not North Park's budget.
It should, that's correct.
Because they have bid that, right?
Yes. I think they're using the same guy that was mowing last year.
Any way we can appropriate some money for the honor guard?
If we do, it'll have to be when we come back with needs assessment. There's nothing in this budget that can be done with.
Well, they need.
We're not gonna have any money left over, ain't that correct, Dan?
Well, in the general fund, if nothing happens, I always hate to commit, I think we will have some surplus funds. If
Not
nothing
very much,
happens.
though, is it?
It won't be like we used to have.
How much you talking about?
I don't want to say,
Well,
because you'll hold me
we
to
need know
it.
before we pass the budget.
Well, you
There's
can't
no way.
answer that
If we knew
until
that, we'd
it's
have
done.
it in the budget. If you knew it would be in the budget, there's no way of knowing.
Yeah.
You ought to have a ballpark figure.
There's so many variables. It's just like the road fund. David, I told you 2 months ago when we started this, the road department was doing really well and would have quite a bit of surplus money. But now that this FEMA storm has hit, no. You know, we've spent,
I can't see
Close
how we
to-
have any surplus money when here it's been less than a year. We didn't even have money to buy rock. And we had to quit putting the tiles in, putting rock on the tiles.
well, it's the same thing that's going to happen this year is in the next 2 months, you're going to spend a whole bunch of money. So at the end of the budget year, it's going to look bad. But then in 6 to 9 months, that FEMA money is going to come back in, and it's going to make next year look better.
And
You're
We've had to
paying it
upfront
off.
all that money.
matter of fact,
We're having to upfront it.
if it's like the several last storms, we're gonna come out ahead. And I have a big plan of edging these roads up. We bought that machine to do it with, and then didn't buy the gravel and get out and do it. And so now then, with this FEMA surplus, we get out there and edge these roads up. Everything that we blacktop in the last few years needs gravel put on the side of it. We bought a new machine to put it on there with, then we haven't done it.
That's another problem, well, we don't have enough men to operate it.
Actually, I think so. I gotta work more with
Working road foreman, we don't.
I believe we do. And our mowing seasonal mower people, it's about time for them to come back, so they'll start mowing.
Gotta get them mowed first and foremost.
I'm sorry, Bob.
So we gotta get them mowed first and foremost. I
You
got
didn't
to
get
pay
them all last year.
Well,
Well,
actually,
that's my concern with, I know we're still waiting.
we got
I
over,
wish we would contract some help out.
we got all over it 2 times, and part of it we did got over 6 times.
I think we're digging ourselves deeper, we don't keep going.
Chewing.
They what, they've done pretty good. They got their biggest culvert seen already.
Yeah.
They're already put in.
And I'm not saying it's anything to do with them, but this is a big undertaking that they're.
I used to help them, yeah, it's not that they're not
Big
doing
what,
the work.
A big undertaking, this storm, what it's done to these roads,
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough on them.
But, we're, like I said, the mower crews, seasonals, they're not even there now. And, we're gonna do quite a bit of, patching with the chip and seal machine paid for by FEMA. That's gonna help our roads. In other words, we're gonna be better off on them than we were before these tore up.
That FEMA money's gonna be earmarked, you gotta spend it there what they tell you.
But on roads, we've always done that. We bought 2 or 3 big pieces of equipment with them. We bought the long reach excavator with FEMA money. Okay. But like I said, this was the, I really wished we could have put some, Larry, I wish we could have put some discretionary money in there. And I feel, what's the word, right under confidence, extremely optimistic that we will have that back in there when we do the system. And honor guard, maybe little. But most likely that would, if we get our discretionary money, that would be done from that.
I wouldn't mind the help of the honor guard too, but I think we can do that.
Well, that goes back to the question I have on the community contributions.
Yeah.
We can help the honor guard out of that, but that's been cut, according to this line.
About 10,000?
About $5,000 from what we did last year, and we spent almost all that last year, and I think we gave a little bit to the honor guard out of that.
I think,
So, I mean, that's where it got, I mean, this got cut
Well-
$5,000.
Well, here's what I would like to do. I'd like to just go ahead and make a motion to do the first reading budget with any discretionary money, any surplus money that comes up before we do anything, the first round of discretionary money, and we can put that $5,000 back into.
yeah, absolutely. But here's what you do, you build,
For what, Michael, I didn't understand.
We had community contributions, something I added to the last budget, I asked it to be added.
Ed Ken, yeah.
Yeah, we had $10,000, and I asked Ian, we went through the majority of that collectively. Each magistrate gave 500 to this, 500 to that, but we did it as a whole. Rather than it being in one district, it was something that had something to do with the entire county. So I hate to see that we lost $5,000 on that line
Well,
there.
yeah, we did it out of discretionary money before, I believe.
So how soon
I
do
mean,
we get
I
the
don't
budget
mean-
back
I
in
mean,
after first?
community-
Needs assessment money, I mean.
And
We won't get it back by the next meeting coming. Well, and you can tweak with the minor, which I would say $5,000 in that, discretionary fund, if we find it, those are minor.
Yeah, but here's why it is, though. We got a budget of just keeping everybody where they were as much as we could. We got there, but I'd asked to put in discretionary money, which we normally don't do. And then when it come back, the budget, there wasn't enough money, we had to balance. So we go for these things because the math worked, and there wasn't any place we could see without hurting a department somewhere. And we have the expectations that we got extra money coming in, we'll do it. I remember Larry Cowan used to always say, any
Anticipated.
unanticipated revenue will go to these things. When there's going something he wanted in the budget, he'd go ahead and vote for it, but he'd say, but this was the understanding that any extra money, that you don't know, unanticipated revenue would go to that. Well, that's what we're saying here. the most apt for it to be would be from the needs assessment money, which is what comes over the budget. But there may be some other ways too. If co-severance tax was come up just a little bit, or some of them things come up a little bit, we could do some trading to get it for it too.
I believe that's what Jason said in his motion. Did you get it, Randy?
Yeah.
I'll second Jason.
The first 5,000.
Because here's the thing, there's
No.
no major changes.
No,
in
it's
this.
the first, it actually adds up to 75,000. The
Okay,
first,
so
because
what's
that's
75,000?
10 for each of the magistrates and the judge, 10 in the community dumpsters,
Yeah, I got
an
it.
additional 5 in the community contribution. So it's 75,000.
I didn't know that, but I mean,
And-
that's, I didn't know his.
You think there'll be enough for
It makes
that?
up every
I do.
week.
Now, don't get mad at me if there's not, but
68,000 out of the road department and no discretionary money. And I know I've got a bit of discretionary money, but I've been saving it, I'm getting ready to spend it.
Well,
I've
I'm
got 3 parks and 3 park departments in my district.
Hey Larry, I want it very badly too. And I am not confident, because that's almost like a guarantee, but I'm very optimistic we'll have enough to do those
But
things.
those three things, we can talk about those before between, main thing is get the first reading of the budget up, because it's not gonna change a lot. So the state can approve it and see if it's okay, and then we can talk about, those to me would be minor changes that you can make. And I still think in my motion that we will add those 3 things that would be paid for first out of surplus money. After,
We have a motion second.
I currently have honor guard, the community dumpsters, community contributions, and then
Well,
each
the honor
magistrate.
guard-
Honor guard's from our
Were there any
community.
changes on fire?
That comes from
Okay,
community.
so strike that one then.
no.
I didn't think.
the 5,000 back into the community.
Okay, community, gotcha.
But
Okay, got it.
10,000 to each district,
Yes.
Make that 25 for mine, 5 for the rest of it.
I don't think you black.
And if you come, you get extra because Horse Branch is in your district. Strike that, Dustin.
Yeah, we'll vote.
I did have one other
We have
thing.
both 10 seconds. Both seconds.
Those are-
I mean, here's the thing, we sit here and look at this all day long, guys,
You want-
but there's not many big changes, other than those few little things we want. Those can be put in there, and I feel like we'll get them, but to sit here and go over the whole budget, really the only thing that's been changed is the 2.9 and the 8.5.
If no, I'm going to go ahead and call for a roll call.
Are
vote.
you good with your help at the golf course?
I think they are.
You got, I mean, you guys got what you
Yeah.
need?
I think they are.
Yeah,
They seem.
yeah, they seem to be rolling strong. Roll call,
Bennett?
Yep.
Johnston?
yes.
Bevan?
Did you say Beaver?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
you? Okay.
I didn't hear.
I'll vote for it this time, but that money ain't put in there, I won't vote the second time.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bullock?
Yes. And I think we all want that money too,
We do. And like I said, I want it too.
but I don't want to hold the budget up.
Hey, this motion's adjourned.
Wait, no.
Turn your recorder off.
Wait a minute. I do have one more thing. In the ARCH program, that is in its own fund now, and all of their payroll comes out of there. We have the opioid fund, which has a substantial amount of money in there. What I would like to do,
They did earmark down, ain't you could use,
yes,
Yeah, but
it's
it'll last
restricted.
longer if you come in somewhere else.
We need to show that we are using this opioid money, so what I would like to do is to take, right now, 100% of the ARCH payroll comes out of the ARCH fund. I'd like to take half of that out of opioid and half of it out of ARCH. So you're not changing the bottom line of your budget. That's
But you're
just,
saving money in the arch budget.
you were saving money in the ARCH budget, yes.
Make it last longer.
Yeah. And we do need to show, we've had this opioid money for over a year now, and we do need to show that we are using it and just not
how
letting it
much is
sit
it?
there.
I've seen it.
Page
but-
22. Page 22.
Page 22.
That's the ARCH. Yeah. that's the first.
The opioid.
Yeah, the opioid money
That's a pretty
is
little chunk of money.
on page 19. And this should continue the arch program from 8 to 10 years, which is the money we have here. And at the next court meeting, we took, and I'll have a number for you, you all allowed us to take some of this excess money and buy CDs with it, and they rolled over this month. So as they roll over, I'll have to come back to the court to ask you all to allow me to go back out and buy CDs again.
You can take the opioid money and buy CDs?
Yes, you can, and earn interest, and we earned quite a bit of interest
Yeah.
on it.
Why can't we roll more over into the arch program? I tell you, all the years I've been at Arch is one of the most.
They're the
important-
same,
Oh, it is?
they're the same, they're just different pots of money, but
Yeah, I don't
they
know.
support the arch office.
Where is that interest mark?
It has to go back in
To the opioid?
to the opioid or to the arch. There's enough in the arch.
It was,
that-
Okay,
the
that's what, yeah.
opioid was all in the operational cost of programs, and
Yeah.
Do you
the
not
arch,
have to
other
amend
money
it,
was
or
off
is
to
it
the
just have
side.
to come out?
I think half
What?
the salary.
Like the interest
Now,
is
the opioid
income, or do you,
stuff,
do you?
they-
It's just
Okay,
income.
that's what they just brought
And
up.
then,
I didn't know.
and then at the end of the year,
For
that's
payroll.
He's
surplus.
not
Okay.
supposed
What you
to-
think
he's
is,
not.
that's
Yeah.
kind of that surplus.
Yeah, I get it. I just
Yeah.
wanted, that was just curiosity
Yeah.
on my part.
But just go ahead and put that in there, and I
Well,
don't
that's
think there's a
true.
problem.
Is that okay with everybody to
I thought
split
we
that?
weren't paying for the arts program anymore, that they were,
Not, we're paying for
the
the
third party company was.
Ankle
my ankle
monitors.
monitor.
That's the
Just the
ankle
monitor.
monitor, just the
Yeah,
monitor.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Really, right now, the only expense the arch program has, the major expense is the payroll.
Yeah.
I think they are, since they've gotten rid of that ankle monitoring, they're trying to incorporate some support programs for those that need it.
They're still doing the testing.
So what's
Testing didn't go
what's
to the
left
company.
in the opioid?
Oh, it did?
Taking half of that for the arch program, what's left in the opioid?
Oh, over $500,000, and we get money every year.
Yeah.
We'll get
Well,
money for
there's
8,
500 in that, in the opioid, there's it was 150 and
Well,
400 and,
the first estimates were over 18 years, we would get $870-some thousand, and now then, what Justin did today, they're including Kroger and some of those others, so we should be getting more.
I think I wrote Chandler though, I think it's Chandler,
It is.
yeah.
I was gonna say cut extra R in. Hey, that's from being in Arkansas, you gotta put extra R in
Yeah,
everything.
there you go. All right. We good?
Just as a side note, Candy did come back day 3. Woohoo!
We need a roll call, Miranda, for the,
We already got
no, for the, arch.
I don't think so, I think
No,
that was just
that doesn't need one,
that was just
I'll
an
just go in.
understanding.
yeah.
All right, we're dismissed.